Where in the world is all the Thanksgiving horror movies and why aren't there more? Let's talk about it. Hey, how you doing? Is I the Terrific Lady, otherwise known as Brandy. Welcome to Retro Horror School and happy Friday to you. This is a question that's kind of been on my mind for a while when it comes to holiday horror movies, and it kind of bugs me a little bit. Why aren't there more Thanksgiving horror movies? Halloween always has a solid lineup of horror flicks. You could throw like any horror movie in there and consider it a Halloween horror movie. Christmas, there are so many different Christmas horror movies to choose from Silent Night, Deadly Night to Krampus to Gremlins. But when it comes to Thanksgiving, there are a little bit of crickets out there. What do I think are the reasons behind that? Why there's a severe lack of Thanksgiving horror movies? Let's go ahead and break it down. But first, before we break it down, I do want to point out that yes, there are some Thanksgiving horror movies out there. And yes, there are movies that you could consider, yes, this is a Thanksgiving movie. But what I would define as a Thanksgiving horror movie is a movie that is set during Thanksgiving, where Thanksgiving, the holiday, is a backdrop and a central focus of the film. So the holidays being the central focus, much like a Christmas horror movie is set during Christmas and the holiday is the central focus. That's what I would consider a Thanksgiving horror movie. Not just a horror movie with Thanksgiving in it, if you catch my drift. So here we go. Thanksgiving is a major holiday in the US. It's a time for turkey, football, the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and even the National Dog Show is on and around this time. But when it comes to movies, there are not a lot of options out there from what I can see for Thanksgiving horror movies. Unlike Christmas, which has the mythology that comes behind it, St. Nicholas, leaving toys for good girls and boys and leaving coal in the stockings of those who have been bad. Thanksgiving really doesn't have that same kind of backstory behind it, or that same kind of cultural mythology, so to speak. And another major hurdle to get over for Thanksgiving is that its main mascot is a turkey that gets what? Well, it gets slaughtered and it gets eaten. It's not a jolly old man who gives people presents. The turkey has a very just kind of grim and gruesome fate. And the historical roots of Thanksgiving are very complicated. It's very complicated. That may also be another reason as to why you don't really see a lot of Thanksgiving horror movies out there. As I mentioned before, Thanksgiving doesn't really have the cultural mythology behind it. There's no Santa. There's no 8 magic reindeer that pull his sleigh. There's really no catchy traditions beyond those that I mentioned, and especially the big meal that gets cooked for everybody to share. This could be the reason why the demand for horror movies are really low, because there's no catchy thing to draw people into Thanksgiving. And since horror movies are mainly released to a global, widespread audience, and Thanksgiving is a holiday that is mainly celebrated in the United States, unless you're Canadian. I know you celebrate Thanksgiving in October, but I don't know how different your Thanksgiving is from ours. But if we're talking the Thanksgiving that is mainly celebrated in the US, and horror movies have to be released on a global basis, it may not be a holiday that has a strong pull to encourage people to go see a Thanksgiving horror movie. And studios might not be willing to make the gamble either on a theme that's not really that marketable as they see it, when they know for certain that holidays like Christmas and Halloween are definitely marketable, definitely bankable. They've got people that are avid celebrators of both and would love that kind of holiday horror. But here's the thing, there is a reason why holiday horror hits so well. It taps into what is the truth behind holidays. We would love for holidays to have just joy and cheer 24/7, but we know sometimes that is not the case. For many people, holidays are very stressful, filled with fights and tension, and sometimes are just plain awkward. Thanksgiving could be the perfect backdrop, I think, for tension and drama and, well, a lot of slashing and hacking. So imagine that there is a Friendsgiving, for instance, that goes very terribly wrong, or a family gathering where there's a bunch of secrets going on that are buried and that leads to chaos. I think the lack of a Thanksgiving icon, the lack of someone like Santa, for instance, the lack of Halloween iconography like jack-o'-lanterns, I think the lack of Thanksgiving iconography would lend very well to the creativity of a Thanksgiving horror film. More creative freedom and more stories that really do not have to play by any rules. Now, you're not confined to the iconography of Christmas. You're not confined to the iconography of Halloween. And I love holiday horror. I just want more of it. So this is my plea. We need more Thanksgiving horror movies. Please. I think Thanksgiving is ready for more movies that are, for more horror movies that are hackers and slashers, that are dark and twisted, that maybe have a psychological edge to it. We just need studios and filmmakers that are willing to take that leap. Thank you so much for watching this video. What are your thoughts on Thanksgiving horror movies? Do you think that we need more? Do you not care either way? Or if you don't want to answer that question, I would like to know what your favorite holiday horror movie is. Whether it's one of the few Thanksgiving horrors that are out there, whether it's a Christmas horror movie, or whether it's a horror movie that is set specifically during Halloween. I would really love to know the answer to either of those questions, so let me know in the comments below. Hit the like button and share with fellow horror fans who love learning about the different aspects of horror, because it really does help. And subscribe and hit the bell so that way you never miss another Retro Horror School class, ever. I'm going to toss up a few more videos here I think you might like, and sadly, class is dismissed, everybody, for now, but I will see you next time. Bye!